right, good afternoon, everybody. Back here with another short video for you all on punking. Well, at least I hope it's short. So I got a lot in this video. This is going to cover today's lectures as well as yesterday's February 28th, just because I didn't get a video out. So we'll jump right in. We're going to be in Anking Step 1 under First Aid, and we're going to be jumping around quite a bit today. So we're going to start off in First Aid biochemistry. You're going to come down to cellular cell cycle phases. And in the cell cycle phases, when you want to activate all of them, except I did deactivate this one, that the cell type that is most affected by chemotherapy is labile, so the actively dividing ones. But there's cards here going over what cell types are labile ones and the definition of labile cells. So cancer targets rapidly dividing cells, so that's why I didn't activate this card. But if you want to, go for it. They want to go into regulation here. Basics, you want to grab all of those. And the Lee-Ramani syndrome, I just grabbed this one here, that loss of the P53 enzyme seen in most cancers. And I believe that card was here as well. Yeah, so it's already here as well. And you want to grab the first one, this P53, which was in the Lee-Ramani syndrome. And then the last four here I have. These last three I already had previously activated, but this was a new one. But grab these last three if you didn't have them already. RAS, none of them. RB, the first one, skip the second, and then grab the rest here. And then retinoblastoma, just the last two. And that is it for cellular under biochemistry. So I'm going to minimize that. And we will jump to the next section, which is pathology. So 4, and we're going to be in neoplasia. So lots of little spots here to go. So under neoplasia, we're going to jump into basics first. And this one, I would recommend pausing and then making sure your cards are organized the same as mine and just kind of clicking down to the correct spot. So come find this card. Neoplasia is a new tissue growth, which has 3 characteristics. And these 3 cards, and then you'll grab this one. Is a neoplasia reversible? No. And then I had this card down here previously activated. So don't worry about this one. This was from FOM3, I believe. So pick it up if you'd like. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about it. And then we're going to jump to normal. You want to grab the last 2 here. Dysplasia, all of them except the first one. And this one here. I guess you could grab this one. They're pleomorphic. Let's grab it. There. So just not the first one. Carcinoma in situ, all of them except the first one. So these 3, just not the first. Invasive carcinoma, I just grabbed this one here. The invasive carcinomas become metastatic when they invade the lymphatics and blood. Metastasis, this one down here, just that the initial lymphatic spread of a carcinoma is to the regional draining lymph nodes. And then progression, all of them except the first one. Although I think we already had these activated, so don't be surprised if these are already activated. All right, and then that is it for section 1. Minimize that. We're going to tumor nomenclature. And there's a lot here, so bear with me. So if you want, I'll just, to go make this kind of easy, scroll down and there's this orange tab here, going all over all the malignant characteristics. And then when it switches from that orange section, I didn't have this one activated. And then it goes back to it, except for benign. So activate all those benign ones. And then yours should look like this, and then you'll be down here. And then once you have that, just keep it right here. We're going to skip over this one, just because there's a lot of repeat cards here. So that's why I don't have all of them activated. If it would be easier for you to activate all of them and you're okay with a lot of extra cards that are kind of like repeating concepts, activate all of them. But I just chose not to. So ending care on the benign tumor, skipping this one, activating this one. And these ones are just kind of like question-based, which I thought would be helpful. And then we'll come down to this card. What is the only factor used to make an absolute diagnosis? And that is metastatic potential for whether it's benign or malignant. And you're going to skip 2 down from that, and we're going to go over some histology slides. So these histology ones I found to be kind of helpful. Plus, they give you images different from the lectures that just kind of help paint or like give you ideas of what to look for on what's cancerous. Then we're going to go into carcinoma versus sarcoma and just the first two. This section we skipped, and examples we skipped. These were activated previously, so don't worry about that. All right, and then we're going to skip over tumor grade versus stage. We're going to go to hallmarks of cancer, and you want to grab the one card here, an anti-growth signal insensitivity. You want to grab the one card here in growth signal, and then in immune evasion, you want to grab the first four, skip this one, grab the second to last one if you didn't have it already. And so just these two inactivated cards. Limitless, just the second, third, and fourth. Sustained angiogenesis, grab the one, and the Warburg effect, grab all three. All right. And that is it for section 4. Then we're going to come down to oncogenes. Basics, grab all of them. These are all good. Yeah, and I believe that is it here. And then you want to go to growth factors, basics. You want to come down here that growth factors induce cellular growth versus mitogens, which induce division. So that's a good card to have. And then the JAK, I grabbed the first one just because you had a specific slide mentioning it. So JAK2 is a tyrosine kinase that promotes cellular growth. This one I skipped. And then in the nuclear regulators, grab the first card here in the CMYC. And then it's the same card for the LMYC. And then in the NMYC, it'll be the same card here again. But then grab the next one after that the NMYC is oncogenic through amplification. And then in the signal transducers, in the BCR ABL, I want to grab this first one. It's another tyrosine kinase. Don't worry about the CRAS or the RAS proteins. All right, that is it for this section. So then we'll jump into tumor suppressor genes, and just in basics, grab these 4. If you don't have them already, I think they might have already been activated. And we'll minimize that. And then carcinogens, again, just the basics. Just those 4. And that is it here. So then we'll minimize carcinogens, and then we will minimize neoplasia. And then we will stay in, actually, no, we're going to jump out of pathology, go to pharmacology. We'll go to specific toxicity treatments. And again, organize yours like this, and then you can hopefully try to find these. So I just found the acetaminophen antidote or treatment, which is N-acetylcysteine. Activated that one. And then about 4 or 5 cards after that, you will find the one for organophosphate poisoning, which is twofold treatment of atropine and pralidoxine. So those cards there, and then you could scroll down and you won't miss any here because this is still that card here. And you want to find, again, there's N-acetylcysteine helps restore reduced glutathione, which we know what that's from. Reduced glutathione is in the reactive oxygen species lecture content. So I thought that would be helpful. And then you want to grab the iron chelators card here, and then these two down here for EDTA, which is iron chelator or a heavy metal chelator. And that is it for that. I didn't go into the drug reactions or the specific P450 reactions. So we can minimize that, minimize pharmacology. And then we had the exercise lecture on cardiology and respiratory system. There are no cards in the cardiology section that I could find. So I didn't worry about that. But in respiratory, under physiology, there's a specific response to exercise. I grabbed all of them except this one, just because this seems kind of like advanced and yeah, didn't apply to the lecture. So I didn't grab this one, but all of them, all the other ones are good. And that will wrap up today's lecture, or not lecture. No, please don't see this as a lecture. Video on King cards for lectures from today and yesterday. So if you find this helpful, and as always, happy studying.